Travel is more challenging now than it has been in a long time. Borders tentatively reopen only to slam shut again. A once simple visa on entry is replaced with piles of paperwork. And the whole world is brushing up on the Greek alphabet whenever a new variant makes headlines. Still, though, amid all the darkness that has defined the pandemic, there are some glimmers of hope. Perhaps the lesson travelers can take into 2022 is that exploring the world is a privilege, not a right. This year's crop of dream places to visit reflect that mindset, from national parks to remote islands to lesser visited spots. Mindfulness and respect for the earth are part of the journey. When Orville and Wilbur Wright first got their small plane aloft in 1903, it seems unlikely they would have imagined a world of scores of jetliners a day connecting the world's great cities or an eyeball scan replacing a paper passport. When we look back on how far we've come, it makes us more grateful for where we are. Let's all try to channel a sense of wonder. If and when we're able to travel in 2022 and beyond. Number 10. Antigua and Barbuda. Not only is the twin island nation blessed with miles and miles of pristine white and pink sands, Antigua famously has a beach for every day of the year. It also lays claims to the longest-running Sunday party in the Caribbean, which takes place at restored military lookout Shirley Heights. Barbuda, the smaller of the two islands, was famously one of Princess Diana's favorite vacation spots, while veteran actor Robert De Niro co-owns a resort in the area with Australian billionaire James Packer. Cricket is a massive deal here, so the England Tests, which are being held in Antigua in 2022, are one of the most anticipated events of the year. The official test match between England and the West Indies will take place at the stadium, named after Antiguan cricketing legend Vivian Richards, in March. Antigua and Barbuda has been gaining recognition for its sustainability efforts in recent years thanks to a number of successful green initiatives. Single-use plastics are banned, while the Green Corridor, a collection of environmentally friendly hotels, resorts and businesses, has been established across the southwest coast of Antigua. Number 9. Bisagos Islands, Guinea-Bissau. Made up of 88 islands, of which just 23 are inhabited, this magical archipelago situated around 48 kilometers off the Guinea coast of Western Africa is as unique as it gets. The Bisagos Islands are run by a matriarchal society where women possess all the power. Here women choose their husbands, propose marriage, build their own homes and run the households. The few tourists who are able to visit the UNESCO Biosphere Reserve are rewarded with immaculate beaches, expansive natural parks and calm blue waters. The cluster of islands, which can be accessed by boat, ferry or light aircraft, also holds an extraordinary abundance of wildlife, including protected or rare species like the Nile crocodile, the common bottlenose dolphin, and the African manatee, as well as about 500 species of birds. Hurtigruten Expeditions, the company that founded expedition cruising in 1896, has added its first ever African adventure to its 2022-23 lineup, with the Bisagos Islands among the list of destinations on the itinerary. Number 8. Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Connected to the Canadian mainland by a mile-long causeway, Nova Scotia's Cape Breton Island is famed for its scenic vistas and historic sites. Spread over 10,311 square kilometers, it's no tiny dot in the ocean, either. Island highlights include Cabot Trail, a scenic two-lane byway that snakes through Cape Breton Highlands National Park, where lush green hills and rusty red cliffs tower over rugged beaches, the impressive 18th-century fortress of Louisbourg, once the capital of a French colony and today a living history museum, and culinary offerings, from modern fine dining to traditional community lobster suppers. Why go now? In recent years, Canada has taken important steps to develop and promote Indigenous tourism, and Cape Breton is no exception. Visitors can immerse themselves in traditions of Cape Breton's Mi'kmaq, a First Nations people who have lived in Canada's eastern maritime region for over 10,000 years, through a variety of offerings from the island's 5 First Nations communities. Number 7. Chile. A long, thin strip between the Pacific Ocean and the Andes Mountains, Chile is a world leader in ecotourism and an outdoor adventurer's paradise. In northern Chile, the Atacama is the place to go. Valle de la Luna features otherworldly landscapes, rock formations and surreal, colorful sunsets. Speaking of color, see vivid pink flamingos at Chaxa Lagoon. Both are located within Los Flamencos National Reserve. Want something even wilder? Then head farther south to the Patagonian wilderness. Torres del Paine National Park is considered one of the crown jewels of Chile's park system. Its glaciers, waterfalls and wildlife are renowned. The United Nations World Tourism Organization named 2 Chilean places in its list of best tourism villages in 2021, which promotes sustainable development. They are Pica, known for its citrus fruits and hot springs, and Puerto Williams, the southernmost city in world. 2022 will mark 300 years since the Dutch arrival to the South Pacific island of Rapa Nui, aka Easter Island. Famed for its giant stone faces, this special territory of Chile has been closed to visitors during the pandemic. But it's set to reopen to tourists in February. Number 6. Colombo. Colombo is usually misunderstood from the beginning. Despite being Sri Lanka's biggest city, it isn't the capital. That would be Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte, which is a great fact to break out at your next pub quiz, and many travelers skip it over in favor of the island's gorgeous beaches and tea farms. But in 2022 it's time to pay attention to the city's underrated design destinations, including late architect Geoffrey Bauer's home, which is now a mini museum and guest house called Number 11. The next year is bringing a spate of promising new hotels to the city, including properties by Amari, Grand Hyatt, Marriott, Sheraton and ITC. Sri Lanka does have its share of delicious curries, but don't assume that the food is the same as in neighboring India. Start the day by filling up on egg hoppers heaped with coconut sambal at the Palmyra's lush breakfast banquet, head to the Peter Floating Market to stock up on bananas in nearly every color of the rainbow, and end the day watching the beach sunset at the Gala Face Hotel sipping a grapefruit-infused take on a Negroni at the aptly named Travelers Bar. Everything tastes better paired with the island's own Ceylon teas. Number 5. Dijon, France. Thought Lyon was the capital of French cuisine. Not so fast. Dijon has always been a huge foodie hub. The biggest city of the Bourgogne-Franche-Comté region is a glorious mishmash of timber-framed houses, magnificent 18th century palaces and a soaring Gothic cathedral, but it's also one of France's gastronomic capitals. Fittingly enough, May 2022 sees the opening of the Cité Internationale de la Gastronomie et du Vin in Dijon, a 70,000 square meter renovation of historic buildings, from the 16th to the 18th centuries, turned into a complex devoted entirely to French food and wine. New opening aside, there are plenty of other reasons to put Dijon on your to-do list. Venture out into the surrounding vineyards of the Burgundy region, Beaune, half an hour south, is a top-tier wine town. Hit the Les Halles Food Market, designed by Gustave Eiffel, yes, he of Tower fame, to sample the region's best ingredients. Go mustard tasting at La Moutarderie Edmond Follot, going strong after 180 years, and try the gingerbread from Mulet et Petitjean, baked here since the 18th century. Food and drink aside, there's the stunning Musée des Beaux-Arts de Dijon, where over 130,000 works of art are stored in the neoclassical palace of the Dukes of Burgundy. Number 4. Disko Bay, Greenland. Whales, colossal icebergs, a fast-moving glacier and a whole lot of dog sleds define Disko Bay, on Greenland's western coast. The town of Ilulissat, with its colorful houses, makes a great base for exploring, not least because it neighbors Ilulissat Icefjord. This dramatic fjord is a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site, partly because of its jaw-dropping splendor, and partly because of the scientific studies that have taken place here over the past 250 years, which helped scientists understand the impact of climate change. The enormous icebergs that populate Ilulissat Icefjord stem from the Sermeek-Pugelek Glacier. Local boat trips available in Disko Bay offer a chance to marvel at the icy scenes, and encourage travelers to consider why this region is sometimes called climate change's ground zero. Another boat trip will take you to Disko Island, with its striking black sand beaches, while back on the mainland, there's the recently opened Ilulissat Icefjord Center to explore. This new attraction seeks to educate visitors on the importance of the ice in the Disko Bay area, as well as champion the stories of the Inuit people, who've lived off land and sea in the region for thousands of years, and examine the ballooning impact of the climate crisis. The building is an attraction itself, designed by Danish architect Dorte Mandrup as a riot of glass, steel and curves that blend into the staggering landscape. As tourism grows in Greenland, there are several airport projects in the works, including a new air hub in Ilulissat. The goal is to make it easier for international travelers to explore the beautiful country in coming years, while also dispersing visitors around the country to avoid over-tourism. Number 3. Lahti, Finland. Finland is regularly ranked as the happiest place in the world, and there's a great deal to be cheerful about when it comes to the beautiful lakeside city of Lahti. Situated 100 kilometers northeast of Helsinki, this destination is green in every sense. Finland's 8th largest city is packed with beautiful forests, parks and reserves with incredible hiking trails and lookout points. Lahti has also led the way in terms of environmental innovations, becoming the first Finnish city to be appointed as the European Green Capital after ditching coal as a source of fuel and offering its citizens free transport tickets and food as rewards for being eco-friendly. Those who visit should certainly try out the tap water. The city's innovative groundwater system has been certified by UNESCO as the world's best drinking water, and is used by award-winning Lahti-based Tienpiili Brewery and Distillery, the oldest whiskey distillery in Finland. In the spring of 2022, the brand new Lahti Museum of Visual Arts Malva will launch its first exhibits, while Lahti is to host the Ironman 70.3 World Championship, for the first time in 2023. Number 2. Mungathirai Simpson Desert, Australia. For those who've always wanted to experience a once-in-a-lifetime off-road challenge in Australia's outback, the country's newest, and now biggest, national park awaits. Hailed as a major conservation corridor in the heart of the nation, South Australia's Mungathirai Simpson Desert National Park covers 36,000 square kilometres and includes parts of the famed Simpson Desert, which stretches into the state of Queensland and the Northern Territory. It was declared a national park in November 2021 and combines an existing regional reserve and a conservation park. Now here's the challenging part: the only way to explore the Mungathiri Simpson Desert National Park is with a high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicle, necessary to access its extensive network of playa lakes, stunning red dunes and bird-filled grasslands. Nights are spent camping out under the stars. Drivers need to carry fuel, water and food reserves, as well as basic vehicle spare parts and recovery equipment, while a Desert Parks Pass is required to enter and camp in the park. In other words, self-sufficiency is key. Another important note to keep in mind when trip planning: the national park is closed from December 1st to March 15th, when temperatures soar. Travelers deterred by the logistical challenges can book one of several Simpson Desert tours departing from South Australia capital Adelaide. For instance, trips organised by Spirit Safaris also include stops at a variety of regional highlights, from historic pubs to restored railway ruins. Number 1. Naples, Italy. Cut Naples and it bleeds classic Italy. Pizza was born here, Sophia Loren was raised in its cobbled streets. Ancient ruins lie beneath modern suburbs. Scooters zigzag past faded glory palazzos, built when the southern city was its own sovereign state. Hand gestures are an art form here. And that fabled Italian friendliness. This is where it is forged. But why go now? Because Naples is booming. The Centro Storico is pulsating with energy. Sassy, non-cookie cutter hotels are opening up, like Atelier Inez, which is part jewelry workshop, part arty guesthouse. Areas which were previously considered no-go for tourists are finally being seen in a different light. The Sunita district, once looked down on, is now the place to be. Visitors are flocking to its networks of ancient catacombs, and neighborhood artist Paolo La Motta is suddenly on display amid works by Louise Bourgeois and Anish Kapoor at the former royal palace of Capodimonte. There's more to come. New archaeological sites are due to open in 2022 which, although under wraps for now, will shed new light on Greek and Roman Neapolis, as it was called back then. Outside the city, Pompeii is unveiling newly excavated ruins and new ideas, like the Pompeii Arte Bus, which shuttles visitors around nearby, lesser-known villas, for free. Offshore, island Procida will be Italy's capital of culture for 2022. But really, this is Naples' year. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.